Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at Hasbro's G.I. Joe Retaliation 1/18 scale Cobra Combat Ninja. The Cobra Combat Ninja has been released in the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie line, and this is the packaging that it comes in. On the top left, we have a picture of Roadblock, which is played by The Rock, and then we have on the right Snake Eyes. And then across the top of the card at an angle, we have the G.I. Joe Retaliation logo. Most of the card is the bubble, displaying the figure and its accessories, and this figure has a lot of them. It has an amazing rocket launcher that's on a stand. It has a firing missile. They call it basically a firing missile launcher. But it is so detailed. It is very articulated and probably one of the, if not the best accessory that comes with this figure. On the bottom, we have the Cobra Combat Ninja with the Cobra insignia. These are recommended for ages 4 and up, but there is choking hazard small parts not for children under the age of 3. On the side of the packages, we have G.I. Joe is the world's greatest special ops fighting force with top secret ninja training from the toughest of the masters. Led by Ultimate Ninja Combat Commando Roadblock. These elite heroes defend the globe from the evil forces of Cobra. See, that's one thing that irritates me about this movie is, not everybody is a ninja. And to portray everybody in this line as ninjas is kind of ridiculous. Especially Roadblock. He's a soldier. If you are a G.I. Joe fan from the 80s up to this movie, everybody can't be a ninja, and it doesn't make sense. It's G.I. Joe line of characters are vast, and they have, what's great about each character, they have their own skill sets, and that's what made G.I. Joe so successful. The various types of skill sets each character came with. And to make everybody a ninja, especially somebody like Roblox, is silly. But on the back of the packaging, we have some product photos. And at the top here, we have a little bit about the Cobra Combat Ninja. Troopers are trained in elite martial arts techniques and are equally skilled with ninja and military weapons, from swords to submachine guns. They blaze into battle, firing their missile launchers at a Cobra, at the G.I. Joe team, not the Cobra team. I know I find myself a little bit irritated because it's like, this is a perfect trooper figure. It doesn't even look like a ninja. And again, it goes back to what I was saying, like, this should not be construed as like a ninja. It's basically a very special ops combat trooper, in my opinion. But that is the selling point they went on, and it's a shame. Because to me, it takes away from the storyline for this figure. But this figure is amazing. I'm taking away from the actual toy, but it's just silly to label everybody as a ninja. And as you can see on the back of the card here, we do have a variety of accessories, which is fantastic. That's what makes G.I. Joe G.I. Joe, was the, not only the vast skill sets across the characters, but when you bought your action figures, they come with a lot of accessories. But some of the figures recently, fail to follow suit. Here is some of the other figures that are available in this line, if you're interested in tracking those down. So the card actually has a very nice, unique design. It kind of is a square, and it comes rounded off on the other side. Looks pretty cool. Here is a UPC, if that helps you at all track down this figure. Some other information here. These are made in China. Very nice card art. Love the way the packaging, the figure is displayed. Looks great. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure outside the packaging. So there's our figure outside the packaging. He looks pretty awesome. I love the actual paint deco on this. It's a very difficult color to explain. It's not white, it's not gray. It's in between with the blue splashes of camo across the figure. It fall suits from his neck to his boots. He has black boots, and then he has his black baklava mask, which is pretty cool looking. As you can see, the cut for his eyes on his mask is quite tight, giving him a pretty menacing look. His eyes are painted pretty good, but that cut comes down just the top of his eyes and just below the eyes. Looks great. I love how it looks on the side. Looks pretty menacing. Here we have a hook on the back, or a hoop. What's really cool about that is if you've ever seen those military tricks to where, you know, hooks come by and then grab their troops and take off. It's kind of like a quick extraction method. So you can just hook up your troopers and keep on flying. Don't even have to land your aircraft. Nice little feature. He has some black pads on the side of his arm. He has black gloves. He has a black pouch here on his leg. On this side, he does have the Cobra insignia on that black pouch. Pretty nice. I love the sculpt of the actual knee pads. They look fantastic. Now for the articulation, his head is on a ball joint. He will look down. He will look straight, not too much up. He does have a tad bit side to side. Rotate 360 very nicely. His arms are on a ball joint. They rotate 360 all the way around on both arms. Did you go up that much? They raise up. He does have bendable elbows, which there is a rotation there at the elbow also. We can get it in pretty good on the arms. Looks pretty good like that. As you can see, this one has more of a bend than this arm for some reason. Probably due to the sculpt. So it's less than 90 degrees, which is pretty good for this figure. We have a waist swivel. You can go 360 if you desire. He does sit really well. He can do a split fantastically. This way amazingly too. Very nice articulation and legs. For his knees, they are double jointed. So you get your bend there. But unfortunately, the sculpt takes away from the flexibility for double jointed because of the sculpt. As you can see here, I cannot go much farther than this, which is unfortunate. But if you use the bottom one, you can get a different style of knee bend. His feet rotate 360. They do rotate, pivot down a bit. There's a joint there. It's quite tight. And up. Well, it looks like we forgot to take a look at his wrist. On this hand, 360 all the way around. And then you have the up and down. Just a tad bit. Like so. And this also is a 360, but this one has it in and out. You see the joint right there. So that gives you some nice flexibility for all the weapons that it comes with. Does stand really well. Looks really good. We'll take a 360 look at the figure. And then we will take a look at all the accessories. Looks really good. First off, we're going to start with the figure stand. This figure stand is a black dog tag style sculpt. It works. Pretty cool idea for the dog tag. I do like that. And it does have actually a hole, so if you had a chain you would like to stick it on and wear it as a dog tag, it's definitely probably a good feature for the kids. Or you can put multiples on your chain. Not too bad. He also comes with, I think, one of the cooler accessories, I guess, that we've seen in a long time. We have a Cobra logo flag. Unfortunately, this is paper. You know how cool it would be one day to get a actual cloth Cobra flag that actually hangs and you can wave around, extend it out. That'd be a really cool idea for an accessory. I'd pay extra buck for that if they had that accessory for like a figure. I think that'd be definitely a huge selling point. These are paper, but if you're very careful with them and how you handle them in a storm, they can keep in pretty nice condition, but they're going to start to wear eventually because it's just paper, and that's unfortunate. Here is clasped between two pieces of plastic right here, and then we have half of the flagpole with a gray here, and then we have the ball. It's more of a dingy gold color with two ropes hanging down. It also comes with this pole that you can insert here on the bottom, so you can actually have your figure hold the actual flag. I think one of the selling points they missed out on this was, they could have utilized a hole in the stand to put the peg your flag into. I've done that before in some of the other figures I've seen, but unfortunately they missed the mark on this one. The figure can hold the actual flag really well. If I can get it in his hand. There we go. And he fits really well on his stand. I get him to hold the flag to where it's like touching the ground. It's going to be kind of a higher positioning, but it works out really, really well. Okay, so we're going to take a look at one of the, I think is probably the best accessory I've seen in a long time coming out of a G.I. Joe figure, which is going to be that rocket launcher. So here's the stand that it comes with. It's done in a beautiful Cobra blue. It does rotate here, as you can see. Extremely tight though. You can turn it, but it's very much impossible to do unless you really loosen it up. Okay, so there's that part. And then it comes with the post that you mount it on. So we put the cannon on, and it also is flexible, articulated there. Just done in all blue. And here we have the initial cannon. I do love the way this thing looks. I mean, it looks very nice. Very nicely sculpted. We have some decals on here, or more like a tampo type. These ain't like, these are pre-applied. It's more of a tampo. I don't think it's not really painted on. So we have the Cobra insignia. We have 1-627, and we have a snake here on the end. Here's a handle. This is where the post gets attached. Here's another handle here. And what's really cool about this is this feature. You can open up this guy and insert the rocket, which is right here. I kind of don't wish it was red. Wish it was more of a realistic color. Maybe black. I don't know with black, but I guess this is just because of the safety laws that we have here in the United States. But that fits perfectly inside and is spring loaded. It hides pretty well inside and allows you to shut the doors. So you have a loaded rocket launcher. It says assemble this. You simply just take these two pieces like so, and then it just seats perfectly in here. So we do have the articulated range, so you can fire in any direction you want. Probably don't want to fire that way, but that's just showing off the articulation. Maybe if you're on top of a building, that would be better off than sitting on the ground and blow yourself up. You go straight. I guess the loaded balancing act is still more of a balancing act because of the weight. But if you find that mid-center piece, which, there you go, it does stay. We have different range here. Fortunately, it does not rotate. Oh, there's that. You can swivel around like this, I guess. There's that other tickle. I thought it did it. There you go. It does rotate 360 all the way around. Pretty cool. Now he can hold it himself, or you can have him hold it on the actual stand. Very cool. Let's see if I can get this into the figure's hands so we can see what that looks like. So here we have the actual figure holding the rocket. It is front heavy, so you won't be able to stand him up by yourself without some kind of support, either with your hand or the stand. But as you can see, he can hold it with two hands. There's a nice top view. Side view. And then we can open this up. And he can do some damage on some heavy scale. Very cool. Like I said, this is probably my favorite accessory out of this whole set. Alright, so let's go ahead and give him a break from holding that big hand. So he also comes with some variations for the head sculpt. He has a helmet, just done in all black, which I think adds some very evil looking style character to our figure. The only thing it kind of clashes with the black mask, but if it maybe would have broke it up somehow, maybe some line work around the helmet would have been pretty cool. Maybe some blue, like maybe around the helmet, just to give it a little bit of a break up in the figure. But he also comes with another head sculpt. So this is almost like a cybernetic mask or helmet. Or if you want to turn him into like a droid type figure. Has a black antenna. Let me go ahead and get this on the figure so we can take a better look at it from me holding it. Okay, so I have went ahead and swapped out the heads. You can see that it's black and it has a green center. I guess that's more of a lens type thing so they can see. But in my opinion, this is kind of just an unnecessary accessory. I do not like the helmet myself. It kind of does not fit the figure in my opinion. And you may like it, and that's just perfectly fine. But for me, I will not be using these. Maybe one day we get a figure or a droid or a robot. We can use those as a kit bash set. Alright, let's take a look at some of the other accessories. I'm going to go ahead and swap this figure back out. Okay, I went ahead and swiped that out so we can take a look at some other stuff. Like I said, for me, I don't use these as ninjas. I use them as special forces, Cobra Special Forces team, like an urban team, I guess. But we'll go ahead and I'll leave this mask on so we can sell the aesthetic of, a ninja. And because he has a sword sleeve, that's black with 2 pinholes in it, a peg on the back. Here's his sword. We have a black handle. It's got a pretty good a blade, and this just looks to be done very well. It doesn't feel like it's going to rub off every time you put the sword into the actual sleuth. Fits really nice, perfect fit, and then that can go in the peg hole on his back. That's how that looks. What's really a shame is this sword sleeve works really well together, and it fits beautifully on his figure. But on the ninja figures, they don't fit as perfectly and look as great. And if you notice, we don't have that half-cut waffle looking sleeve. It actually is a nice looking sleeve, so it works out really well with this figure for a combat figure. But what are you going to do, right? So take that out. And let's take a look at another weapon. Here we have a submachine gun. Just turning out black. Very nice scope. We have that bent clip forward. Let's take a look and see how he holds it. Okay, this is how he holds it. Holds it pretty decently. It's very difficult to get into his hand because of the way the thumb gets in the way with that forward bent clip. But you can do it, and it looks pretty good. Overall, not too bad. So let's go and take a look at the other one. It's kind of another smaller sub-type machine gun type weapon. This almost like it has like a folding stock, but it does not fold. But it'd been a nice feature if it did. It's a very extended stock. Very slim nose weapon. Very compact. Something you would hide in your jacket or something like that. He can shoulder this weapon pretty good. Stock is kind of long, so definitely gets in the way unless you tuck it underneath his arm. But he can shoulder it pretty decently. The front of the gun looks kind of weird to me. It kind of looks like somebody's Snake Eyes might have hacked his gun in half. But it's a unique sculpt. That has a little pierced barrel there. That'd have been decent. This kind of looks like a half of a weapon. Probably my least favorite of the 4 assault rifles. Those 4 guns that he comes with. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Here we have this style weapon. What is this, a P90 maybe? Not sure. Does have a scope on it. If we had a piece like this on the previous weapon just like that, it probably made it look a little bit better. But not too bad. Let's take a look at the figure holding this weapon. He doesn't seem to like to hold this one as well as the 2 we just looked at. It's kind of thick here in the back, so it causes a problem with his. You can get it does tend to push it out of his hand a lot when you're trying to push it down and get more of a tighter hold in the back. So you see there how the sculpt gets in the way of the weapon. So we're going to take a look at the last assault rifle. Here we have probably my favorite of the assault rifles. This one's pretty cool. It looks more of a modern style, realistic weapon that you could definitely sell a selling point. Do like this one. Scope on it. Looks pretty good. Just take a look at that in the figure's hand. So in my opinion, you just hold this one the best when it does, which is great because it looks the best. Looks very, very cool. And if we add that helmet on, definitely looks like a special ops trooper. But what's great about this figure, it does give you the options of creating whatever you prefer, which is great for an action figure. For me, I'm not one that sees this as a ninja, but I do see this more as a special ops combat trooper. Definitely a great army builder. Myself, I have 6 of these for my army, so it's like for me, it's an urban assault team for my Cobra ranks. These are starting to become very expensive. If you are looking to either buy one or start to army build, or interested in buying more, don't wait too much longer. These things going for like 30, 50 bucks throughout the third market, eBay, Amazon, stuff like that. I've seen them, and it's like a wide range of prices, but the cheapest I think I've seen was like 30 bucks for a $10 figure when they were released. It's definitely tripled in price since the initial release of this figure. This is a very popular figure, very cool looking. I do highly recommend it. Articulation is great. It's a good figure for Hasbro. It's probably one of the better ones in the line. So definitely, consider, if you're considering buying them, you might want to think about relatively soon before they get too pricey. Seen some of these figures in this line going on 50, 60. I've seen an Ultimate Roadblock for like almost like 100 bucks. This is silly, but because that's the nature of the beast for eBay. So let's take a look at this comparison with the new retro style Fang figure. As you can see, in my opinion, this is 2009, I believe it was. This is 2021. Hasbro definitely has washed their hands of the 1/18 scale figures as of 2021. This is where we're getting. This feels like a corpse figure. This definitely feels like what we expect from a G.I. Joe figure. It's a shame on how the 1/18 scale G.I. Joes has fallen, in my opinion. Here is a Storm Shadow that comes in this line also, Ultimate Storm Shadow. So now that is a ninja to me. As you can, I was trying to say earlier, he does not fit the ninja aesthetic. Ninjas are too skilled to have weapons. They have to use a gun. They don't need a gun. So that's why I feel that this is more of a spec ops trooper than a combat ninja. Alright guys, so let's see what else we got here. Here he is with a Joy Toy figure. Looks pretty good. Here he is with Acid Raiden figure. That's good also. Here he is with the Predator. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next review.